Welcome to the historic city of Marijampolė in the southwest of Lithuania. Lithuania is a proud Baltic state with a proud tradition in strength sports. And for this latest event on the United Strongman Series, the city and the mayor have put on a great show to welcome one of their favourite sons, world-famous strongman Savikis. Savikis is competing for the first time on the series and is the red-hot favourite to take the title here in Marijampolė. Once again, 12 of the world's finest strongmen are gathered here to compete for the points and the prize money. Amongst them, United Strongman Series leader Igor Pedan of Russia and one of his closest rivals, Ervin Katina of Serbia. All the United Strongman Series events begin with the official presentation of the athletes, and a warm welcome was waiting from the mayor of Marijampolė. We welcome the United Strongmen to our city of Marijampolė. We trust that they will enjoy the competition and show us a level of sports in return that will reflect the passion and spirit of Marijampolė. The United Strongman Series has maintained its multinational feel in 2006, attracting athletes from across the planet. Here in Marijampolė it was no different, with 9 countries represented. So with the presentations over, it was time to get down to business and time to find suitable transportation for the strongmen to get to the stadium. An excellent crowd were waiting for the athletes as they drew into the Marijampolė football stadium in their Beetle cars. Once in, time to meet the athletes. Todorochev from Bulgaria, a regular on the tour. A new man, Andrus Muramets, chance to see him in action. The big man, Jano Hams from the Netherlands. From Poland, Robert Szczepanski is making a name for himself on this tour. From Russia, Igor Pedan, the United Strongman Series leader, qualified for the IFSA World Championships. Another new face, Mikhail Koklyaev, adding to the Russian strength athletes on this tour. From Serbia, the man in 3rd place on the United Strongman Series, Ervin Katina. Swede Peter Rundberg making his debut on the United Strongman Series. Another familiar face, the USA's Travis Ortmeyer, winner already in Cyprus. From Lithuania, their number 2 strongman, Vidas Blikaitis. Taking the applause of the crowd, Saulius Prasokas. And finally, the local hero, the man they've all come to see, former world champion, Savikis. So the fun was over, time to get into the competition, and first up, it's the unusually named fingers. Always sounds so easy, doesn't it? But let me tell you, it isn't. The finger being that huge pole that the athletes have to tip over. You drive and drive and drive until you find the point at which you can tip it over on the fulcrum. And as you drive, it gets heavier. The closer you get to the point at which it's going to tip over, the tougher it is. And a good effort. How quickly can you get through all of the fingers in what time? That's what the athletes are looking for. But this may prove too much, and it is. 250k on that last one is a pretty big demand. And a good effort. Unfortunately, not going to happen for Szczepanski. Now, Ervin Katina, Mr. Consistent on this tour. He's already had a win. And several 2nd and 3rd places have put him into contention on the United Strongman Series. Good work so far from Katina. He's just about the perfect build, not too short and not too tall, and it means that he can use that frame to great advantage across the range of disciplines, and that's the problem that the strongmen have. They may have very good upper body strength or leg strength. It's a combination of both that is going to win you titles. Katina then, looking to become the first man to make it all the way through, and he too may be struggling. Oh, that is a great effort. Trying to keep that stability, trying to keep the momentum and body shape forward, but no, he too is defeated. Well, it's the IFSA that have requested these events be set very, very heavy. The athletes like it that way, but it's just proving to be a very tough test at the moment. Mikhail Kogliev of Russia. Whole group of Russian strength athletes coming through. Lithuania, though, a small country, but they too can offer their fair share of world-class strength athletes. That's what's going to make this competition so excellent. Good effort from Kogliev. Now, most of the athletes have got here in a reasonable time. He's about 5 or 6 seconds faster than anyone else, which is going to give him time to work on this. Oh, super body position and a great tip over. And Kogliev has got through all 4. That is an excellent performance from the Russian. But it's an early marker for these athletes just to show them how heavy this event is going to be. So Durunas Savikis, don't expect him to win all the events, but he's certainly the red-hot favourite to take the overall title. Look at that. Well, I don't know about fingers for Savikis. It looks like matchsticks at the moment. Oh, and the speed is there as well. And listen to the response from the crowd. They've come to see the hero. And he tips the last one over just one-handed. He could get through in under 30 seconds here. This is a massive effort from him. 22 seconds. Savikis has blown the field away. That is an awesome performance from the former world champion. 4-time winner of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic as well. This man has some reputation.
I training a lot for it. It was not so heavy for me. Welcome all athletes in Marijampolė on my event.
Certainly is his event, and what a start. 12 points for Savikis ahead of Pedant. Akaitis in 3rd takes 10. Next event, the log lift. Increasing weights as the guys go through. 75 seconds is the maximum time that they are allowed to complete the course in, but Jarmo Hams of the Netherlands will be looking forward to getting through all of the weights without any problem in well under the time. Start from Hams. He's a real character on this tour, is the Dutchman. Well, the referee not making him go back and place that. Some referees can be quite strict about this. It has to go back into the wooden blocks, but Hams giving a good performance here. And he's going to say that's enough. He's not going to go for the last one. He'll be happy with his time at 3. And he did just struggle, didn't he, with this 3rd weight. But the strongmen know what their maximums are, and he's obviously reached it.
The last one off here was too heavy. My top is 170. So it's now used to getting started on the 180. But the first 3 went okay.
Travis Ortmeyer, the 25-year-old from the USA, winner in Cyprus, with some superb performances there. But it's a lot of travelling for the guys coming over from North America for these events. The US and Canadian athletes do experience a lot of success. Ortmeyer's a speed merchant. That's not to say that the former American football college player is incredibly strong as well, but he does rely on this ability to get between the disciplines and the objects quickly. Very, very strong Olympic lifting technique, but I think Ortmeyer might be out of luck on the 4th. Well, he's going to go for it. Spirited effort from the youngster. And he wants the crowd on side. If he doesn't hear anything, he's not going to lift it. Might be the wrong place to be asking for that here in Marijampolė. Especially with Savikis still to come. They're hardly going to encourage anyone who might beat the local hero. But the crowd just about getting with it for Ortmeyer. 180k, 197 pounds. And no, he knew as soon as he picked that out of the blocks, that was too heavy. And he'll take 3 as well. Well, I don't think Ortmeyer's going to be too happy with his start to this competition so far. He was looking for a big effort against some of the big names. Next up, Vidas Plakaitis. The crowd will be on his side, definitely. Not quite the local hero, but still one of the best that Lithuania has turned out. He's a very short, stocky character, which means that the levers are short, and therefore able to drive up very quickly, and this is just about his perfect event. And look at that, that is powerlifting of the highest quality. And he too milking the applause. A slightly sharper response, I would say, than the one that Ortmeyer got. Could have guessed it, eh? Chance to put the pressure on the rest of the field here. Rocks it back onto the chest. That is awesome from Blakaitis, and drives through. Can he lock the arms out? No. Referees aren't going to give him that lift, and I do hope he hasn't damaged his lower back with that one. A lot of concerned faces in the crowd after this from Blakaitis. Oh dear, yes, just twisted and couldn't quite get the arms locked out, and that's put a lot of pressure on the back. Savickas, the crowd, respectfully quiet when he came out, but now the cheering is starting. He's got off to a fantastic start, 12 points in the bag already from the Fingers event. And in this discipline, not his favourite, but once again he will show the quality of a former world champion with his technique. Well, through the first three pretty easily, but everybody has struggled on four. 180k is some weight to shift. Awesome, absolutely awesome. Savickas, the first man to lift all four.
32,63. Štai ką reiškia iš tiesų sportinis užsispyrimas.
First three was easy, but last one, for lift I need more power, and before starting I think that it will be easier for me. But it was hard. My technique not so good, but my shoulders is very strong.
He's an arch critic, isn't he? His technique not so good, but he was strong enough to cope. Fantastic start from Savickas, maximum marks from two events. Blakaitis too going well, and Pedan staying with them. Time for the super yoke, and I'm afraid time for the rain. That will not make things easy for the athletes out here. Now, Blakaitis of Lithuania is one of the world leaders in this event, so I think he's going to be the man to beat. As you can see, the rubber padding that is laid down on this stadium track is certainly required. It's there initially to protect the track against the weights, but it's certainly going to absorb some of that moisture. Now, the super yoke is a feared implement. Once you have it hoisted in the air, the first problem, then you've got to balance it. Now, 400k is really pushing it for these guys. That is a massive weight. And you have to move it as steadily as possible. 30 metres is the course. I mean, they have really set it tough here in Mariampola. And this is a really tough one for Jarmo Hams. As soon as those weights start to wobble, it's tough to control, and he's had enough. The big belt, the big boots, not enough for Hams to control the yoke. Well, the mood of the crowd has changed with the weather, I'm afraid. I think they were concerned at one stage that the event would be stopped, but I can tell you, they're not called strongmen for nothing. They'll stay out there and they'll keep going, whatever the conditions. Thumbs up from Irving Kathana. It's a tough day for him. Robert Szczepanski of Poland. 31-year-old approaching veteran status, giving a good account of himself, and tremendous amount of strapping and neoprene all over him, but it's doing the job. And look at this, it's practically a sprint along this 30-metre course. Super time from him. Really good effort, and barely breathing at the end of it. Just like a pose down from the world-class sprinters when they strut around at the end of the finish, and doing the same, just trying to show out for the rest of the competitors. Now, this is how the super yoke is constructed. Nobody strong enough to lift it back to the other end of the course, so it has to be taken to pieces lifted individually and then put back together for the man who has claimed this event as his own at the world level. Blakaitis, last year voted as the world #1 in super yoke. Look at that. What an awesome base he's got. Those enormous shoulders resting it for him, and this is too easy. Blakaitis is the man. Well, that is a bit of a shame. Bit dramatic at the end. Let's hope it's nothing serious. Did you see that yoke tip back and hit him? 400k behind it, remember. So although it looked like a gentle tap to us, that was actually pretty painful. And Blakaitis is still down, milking it from the crowd, I suspect, but enjoying himself. No damage done, I'm sure. Yeah, I was disappointed. It was a great time and pushed hard over the finish line, but then a bit silly of me, really, to let it go like that, and it hit me hard. So Blakaitis leads. First chance to have a look at Todorochev of Bulgaria. This boy is strong, but he's very deliberate about everything he does. You won't see this guy flying, but there's not much that he can't lift on this United Strongman series. And Todorochev turning in another very solid performance as the yoke just slips down his shoulders. Can he hold it to the line? Yes, he can. And he too has to watch that tipping at the end. I think all the athletes are going to have to pay attention to this. Quite a sharp corner on the bottom of the super yoke, so that's jamming into the mats and tipping it over on them. And remember, at the end of 30 metres, you've not got much strength left in your legs. The lactic acid has really built up. So you can't stabilise it as you go over the line. Now, they've come up with a very good idea to speed things up in the rain. They're racing from end to end rather than taking it to pieces and moving it all the way back again. So Ortmeyer will now go from this end, having seen Todorochev cross the line from the other. Travis Ortmeyer. Just too heavy for this man to show his speed, I'm afraid. Well, we say he looks like Wolverine from the X-Men. And he's going to have to show some of those superhuman powers now. Ortmeyer. Absolute guts and determination. But with that amount of weight on your shoulders, there's no way he can sprint. Ortmeyer will not give up. And he too crosses the line and nearly makes a similar mistake to Blakaitis. Just gave himself a rap on the back of the head there. Well, enjoying it with the crowd. But he won't have enjoyed the tap on the head at the end of this.
I was just heavy. It was very unstable. I haven't trained the yoke in quite a while, but I'm just happy I finished it. Yeah, I guess a little tilt at the end. It's one way to get it across the line.
A really good contest in the super yoke, and the crowd enjoyed it. The weather didn't affect it, and as predicted, the world #1 in super yoke takes the 12 points. Blakaitis ahead of Shapansky, ahead of Savikas. Savikas still going very well. Squat next up. This your more traditional strongman powerlifting style event. On goes the elasticated strapping onto the knees to protect those knee joints and ensure that they are stabilised under the most terrific forces that are going to be exerted on them. Last bit of coaching from the referees to make sure everybody understands what the situation is. And then into the powerlifting costumes to protect all elements, the back, the hips and the knees most importantly. First man up then, the third-ranked Lithuanian strongman, Saulius Brusakas. Straightforward power lift. Drive up, lock the legs out, and every time you do it, it counts as a legal lift. The referee will shout his approval so that the athlete knows that they can go again. I would imagine a pass score is going to be up around the 11-12 mark for this sort of weight. Not a particularly stable platform, is it? That's typical strongman, putting the pressure on the athlete all the way through. And 10's a good score. Brusakas in front of his home crowd wants to give it everything here. Has been rather in the shadow of Blakaitis and Savikas. He's pushing hard on that one. Oh my goodness. Makes it to 12 and he's not a happy man. He's going to have to be helped away from this. Prasokis will be all right, I'm sure, but occasionally the strongmen, when they overdo it and really exert themselves, then they just go a little bit lightheaded for a moment. Well, that is a super effort from Prasokis to really throw the gauntlet down to the rest of the field. Time then for the next competitor, Andrus Muromets. Haven't seen much of Muromets so far in this event. Slightly taller. Once again, the taller athletes in these particular type of disciplines do have a disadvantage to those with the longer levers. Just watch how much Muromets' left knee especially seems to just tip in and destabilise, and both knees doing it now. This is not a comfortable time here for Muromets. If he makes it to 10, I'll be amazed. Super effort from the big man. And the Estonian is proving me wrong here. I think he might get past 10, you know. It didn't look like a good start, did it? Looked very unstable. But now he's accepted the fact that he's not going to be able to stabilise the position of the knees, and that nice wide apart stance to try and decrease the angles that he's working with, and he's gone past 10. Gone past it easily. And the same style employed to get to 12. Oh, he's tough. No, just let the form in the body go there, and he too having a little dizzy moment after that one. Good effort from Muromets, and he ties with Prasokis.
I think I done maybe 5 reps, but 12 is amazing record for me. And very good. Not very good shape, but incredible. 12 reps in the squat, very good. I'm very happy.
Now Blakaitis, we saw him just blow the field away in the super yoke. What a performance from him there. This is another event that will match that style of power, controlling the object and driving through. And watch him go off fairly quickly. They don't want to go off too quickly. Again, that allows the build-up of lactic acid in the legs, and you're not able to clear it as effectively as you might if you go off too fast. Try and keep the breathing going. Try and keep the body systems working and just pound out that simple rhythm. Well, he bounced that one a little. He's got to be careful here. He's bouncing them at the bottom. The referee's just giving it to him. I think they like the pace. 13 it is. 14. Here's your new man. Blakaitis not only putting pressure on the rest of the field, but on Savickas too. And a little assistance required to get the squat position returned to at the start. And Blakaitis turns in another monster performance. What a great effort from him. And Savickas has got something to think about here. His countryman is providing the toughest test. Talk of the devil. Sidrunas Savickas next up. Need to tighten it just that extra hole on this one, on that weight belt. Once again, it's an athlete with a great reputation in power and weightlifting, is Savickas. And you can transfer those skills and that training over to strongman with relative ease. This is just awesome. Not quite the same bouncing effect, is it? Just lightly touching the squat down at the bottom and then driving back through again, and that's causing less disruption to the form, and he's making it look easy. Oh, Savickas, what a performer. Awesome stuff. And in it goes. He's done enough. He thinks that's enough to beat the rest of the field. Needs a bit of energy left in the tank. Clever thinking from Savickas. Surely enough to take this squat title. Well, if you want to know how to do it properly at home, you need look no further. Classic demonstration from the big man.
I many years competing powerlifting, and squat was my favorite event in powerlifting, so I can't do bad this event.
Well, the fans here in Mariampola must be delighted. Savickas has recorded his third discipline win. So 12 for Savickas, 11 for Bakaitis and 10 for Brusokas. It's an all-Lithuanian squat result. Farmer's Walk next up. Well, not quite like the super yoke, because the arms will allow some control over the weights, and also the movement is dealt with by the arms and the shoulder joints. So in that sense it's a little bit easier, but it's the grip that's the problem. And Savickas, one of the world leaders in grip, and the strongmen know exactly who is the best in that particular area, because it is so key to so many of the events. If you can't grip properly, then you're not going to get anywhere. And this is a good performance so far from Peter Rundberg of Sweden. Rundberg making his way back down the course. It's the sort of man you want carrying your bags at the airport, isn't it? 50 metres to go. And just that little mistake from Rundberg is going to spoil what would have been a really super run. Well, 38 seconds still the standard set by him. I don't think he'll be unduly concerned after that performance. It was a good effort. Just that little slip towards the end.
The weights felt heavy after the squat. My legs were sort of had no energy left, so it was tough. But I'm hoping to get my energy back and finish strong.
Yeah, I think we sometimes tend to forget strongmen are one after the other in terms of the way the disciplines run. There's no time for rest, no time to go back to the hotel for a lay down and a meal. No, this is all out aggression and effort from the start to the finish. It's a really good show to watch, and anybody that's able to turn in this sort of sprint with these weights after the squats is really in super shape, and Szczepanski is just that. The Polish athlete hammering through again. He was unlucky not to take the super yoke because he was up against Blakaitis, of course, but I think he's given himself a really good chance of a win in this one, and Szczepanski's been a revelation. Just checking his time, it's certainly the new leading mark, and no mistake towards the end. Szczepanski giving it everything across the line. Next up, Andrus Muromets, 21 years old, 6 foot 1 inch. The sort of height that is going to be good for this event because of the stride length. Now, providing that you can control the weights, the stride length is going to be greater than some of your other competitors, and you can cover the ground more effectively. P2 with a very good run. And that's a super performance from Muromets. Well, so many of these athletes very, very close together. Muromets was so delighted with his squat result. I would have thought he would have been a bit out of shape for this one, but nothing of the sort. It's given him the confidence to really attack. Saulius Brusokas has recovered. Got a bit dizzy, didn't he, after the squat event? Hope he's okay for this one. Good effort from Brusokas. Now, what's the turn like? Just have to put a part of the foot over that line. That's all that's required. And make sure that he gets that right. Precision turn from Brusokas. Oh no, it's down. That's his chance gone. Once you've lost that momentum, then you can automatically add 5 or 6 seconds. Disappointment for the Lithuanian. But a super effort in front of the crowd, and once again driven on in front of home support. Well, home support was good, but it wasn't quite enough to drive the guys on. It was still Savickas that took it away from the unlucky Szczepanski of Poland. Savickas with another 12, Szczepanski with 11. Blakaitis picks up 3rd and 10. Stones take on different forms. Atlas stones, as they are known. Sometimes we don't have the Atlas stones themselves, but just literally rocks that the guys have to move. Here in Mariampola, Igor Pedan showing his qualities A very different Atlas Stone setup. The basket's just lowering slightly as the weights get heavier, and Pedan, who's made this event his own in the last couple of seasons, turning in a super effort. The last weight to go up, 182 kilograms. I mean, that is just a massive stone to shift, but he's done it very well indeed. Super technique from Igor Pedan. Gets it clear, supports with the knees, and then rolls up the body and in to the basket. He shoots, he scores. Good effort from Pedan. Now, I'm not sure if anyone can actually beat that time. The Atlas Stones put back onto the track, and in comes Travis Ortmeyer. Now, one man that could get it is Ortmeyer. He beat Pedan when he threw the gauntlet down in Cyprus. It was probably one of the fastest runs we've ever seen. 26 seconds for Pedan, and a little slip from Ortmeyer. It's going to be close. Under 10 seconds now to shift this last stone. Ortmeyer rocks it back into position. There it is. 4 seconds, the margin of difference between he and Pedan, and once again Ortmeyer has really turned it on when it matters.
Yes.
Well, the big American really enjoyed this one, and once again he's got the beating of the Russian.
Now,
It's my best event. I couldn't come out here and suck on all of them today. So I had to pull something out of the bag, and who knows, maybe that'll give me some momentum for the rest of the show. It felt pretty good. I screwed the first one up a little bit. I think I overshot it and lost my balance, but came back strong. I think it's a good time. It might hold up. We'll see.
Ortmeyer's time, I'm sure, will hold up. 22 seconds is a pretty tough one to beat. Once again, taking 4 or 5 people to prepare the apparatus for the next competitor. Just a little reminder, isn't it, of how strong these guys are. Ready to go. And Mikhail Kogliev of Russia is in. Rather unusual choosing not to have the t-shirt down on the front. Happy to let the stones brush right up the front of the bare chest and leave some marks after that. But this is a good performance from him. He's not going to beat the 22 seconds. He may get past compatriot Pedan. Yes, he does. 25 seconds. He too has beaten Igor. But as predicted, the time of Ortmeyer stands. That is still the lead at 22 seconds.
Врагу не сдается наш гордый варяг, пощады никто не желает.
The Russian folk song from Kogliev to celebrate. Dodachev next. Now, this young man, as I said, isn't your speed merchant. He's just strong, relentless. And he will plod on and on. Although he's attacked this one with a fair amount of sprightliness. This is a good effort from Dodachev, you know. Oh, unlucky. Just let that weight slip. And that's put him out of contention for the lead time. And I think it's probably put him past Pedan and Kogliev. It has. But something to think about and work on for the big man. Good effort from Dodachev. I don't think he's going to win a discipline here. But plenty of years to go to improve those skills for the 20-year-old. And the Bulgarian completes the course in a good time. Good enough for 5th place, but it's Ortmeyer that takes the 12 points. He was tied by Yarmo Hams, who came in with a late effort. And Kogliev settles for 3rd and 11th. Medley is our last competition. Walk and pull. It's always a simple title for these things. It does exactly what it says. Very, very tough. It's going to be the duck walk to start with. Not a pleasant experience, I can tell you. You have to be careful. That weight you don't want coming down on your toes or smashing into your knees. Good effort though from Rumberg to get things started. The rain's still pounding down here in Mariampola. Well, we had a few days sunshine before the event started off, so there was a good chance to see just how pretty this place is. But I'm afraid the rubber surface is starting to get a little more slippy, and if Rumberg were to lean right back on this one and pull, he would slip straight over. So he's having to use a different technique here, but a very clever technique nonetheless. You'd have thought the runners would have helped by moving along that matting, but no. With 280 kilograms on board, nothing's going to move quickly. Good effort from Rumberg here. He's got the right mindset. Now, can he get this across the line? He wants to. He's burning now. Those muscles really tying up. One last pull from Rumberg. Can he finish? Pride at stake here. Nearly home. Oh, it's painful, isn't it? Absolutely painful, but Rumberg determined not to stop. Is he going to run out of time? 1 minute 30 is all that he has here, and he may be timed out. He's going to be, so he's short of the line, but a good effort, determined to work for that full minute and a half, and the crowd will appreciate that. So Rumberg gets us off to a start and just showing us just how difficult this event is going to be. Next up then, Saulius Brusokis, his last performance in front of this home crowd, the veteran Lithuanian strength man. Good technique, look at that. Well, I haven't seen many ducks walking like that, have you? That is super quick. And takes his time to set up for the sled pull. Well, your heart sinks, doesn't it? You've just walked that weight all the way down the course. You turn, and there's the sled waiting for you. Brilliant technique. Brusokis using the arms as well as the legs, so that when the arms start to tire, he's still got something left. And he can hopefully drive it across the line. Still 45 seconds to go. This is brilliant. He's over. And now he needs to get the sled over. It's going to take him right to the back of the surface, and there it is. Brusokis once again turns in a performance worthy of the United Strongman Series and the support of this Lithuanian crowd. And the number 3 athlete from this country is proving to be anything but. He's turned in an excellent performance to keep pace as far as he can with Blakaitis and Savikis, and the crowd love him. Once again, 2 men required just to drop the duck walk weight into position. Mikhail Klokliev has been a bit of a revelation at this tournament. Not a quiet man, as you will have noticed. I wonder if we're going to get treated to another folk song after this performance. Not quite as quick as Brusokis, but very purposeful in his work. Wipes the hands and puts the rag round, just to make sure that there's no dampness on the huge metal ring which they use to pull the sled along. Oh, look at this. This is awesome. There's the momentum. Oh, the crowd loving this. That's the way to do it. Klokliev is not going to win this event. He's not going to win this discipline. But what he is going to do is he's going to put a memory in the fans' minds. The Russian, the smiling Russian. Well, he's not smiling as much now, is he? Desperately looking for that line. It can't come soon enough. Everybody willing him on, the judges included, giving him some help. There's some great camaraderie on this United Strongman Series, and he's now gone to that more familiar tug position. Gets it past the stone. And Klokliev not got enough breath left for a song. Thank goodness. Really good technique. We saw just about everything from Brusokis. The straightforward stepping drive, the change of grip. And then tugging it metre by metre, but it still wasn't enough. So the sled being put in place for Igor Pedan. Again, just a quick confirmation with the referees of exactly what is required, what they are allowed to get away with in terms of shaving time off wherever they can. Pedan in need of a decent result here. He's already qualified through to the IFSA World Championships. But he will want to be in better form than this. The Muscovite computer technician wants to compete for as long as he can, but knows exactly what business he's going to go into. Computer technology is where his background is. And he's input all the right coordinates here. Oh, he was flying along. Igor, what is happening? It's been a great test for him here in Lithuania against Blakaitis and Savikis. But he'll be annoyed that he's just come up short in a few of the events, this one included. It's still a good effort. And he should still finish ahead of the time, but whether he'll finish ahead of Blakaitis, and he does, a huge tug. What a mighty tug to get that across the line. And he is first. He has beaten Blakaitis' time, so well done, Pedan. Time for a celebration at last. He is a monster, isn't he? Well, he's got a chance at the World Championships to get in amongst it. But he's going to have to come up with consistent performances all the time. Muromets of Estonia has been a delight. Everything he's done at this event, he's enjoyed. Every time he's come off of a particular discipline and been interviewed, he's just been so delighted to be here. And because he's performing in front of a big crowd like this, he consistently keeps beating his personal bests on all the events. Well, I'm not sure he would have come up against this medley combination before, so whatever he gets here will be a personal best. Big slip from Muromets. That's why they're using this technique. Step and drive, step and drive. Big demand on the biceps to keep contracting and flexing the arm to pull the sled nearer them. Big demand on the calves to step backwards and then to the thigh muscles to straighten the legs, but all of it is imperative. If you don't do it, you don't tug the sled. And a really good effort here from Muromets. He too is going to go pretty close to the time of Blakaitis and Pedan. Wow, super stuff. And Muromets will be absolutely delighted after that. Well, a chance for this Lithuanian crowd to cheer on their heroes once more. And despite the rain, it has been an absolutely awesome display by these guys. Savikis is the man, though. Look at that. He's travelling so quickly. The weight might as well not be there. I tell you, he can't run that much faster without the weight. Honestly, that was superb. Now, what's he going to do? Is it the straight pull? Yes, it is. Can he go further than Pedan? This is the man that Santa Claus will want towing the sleigh at Christmas. He is flying. Just runs out of steam there. Time to change technique. Step and pull for Savikis. But this is going to be close to the minute, and it will surely be the win. Savikis finishes in style, and some style, here in Mariampola. Well, he's come here as the hot favourite. That's never an easy mantle to carry, but what a performance he's turned in. Absolutely dominant. Another 12 points for Savikis, ahead of Pedan and ahead of Brusakis in the medley. And a superb way to round off this competition. And it was never in doubt, was it? Total result in the end. Savikis amassing 74 points to get ahead of Blakaitis, and Pedan has done well. 55 points puts him in third place.
It was heavy competition for me. Of course, I won't fly with them. It was bad weather. And when it's bad weather, you never know. And sometimes I won not strongest guy, but I showed that strongest must be winning. This sport is very popular in our country. have a lot of good athletes, and our team very strong. And I hope we will be also in future strong.
Well, super performance from Igor Pedan against some of the big names in strongman to take third position here in Mariampola. Smile on the face of the man that's qualified for the IFSA World Championship. In second place, Vidas Blekaitis, living up to his second ranking in Lithuanian strongman. But the man at the top, Savikis, it was never in doubt. He's the champion here in Mariampola in front of the home fans. Time to celebrate. That's all from the Lithuanian Grand Prix here in Mariampola on the United Strongman Series. We'll see you again soon.